What do you need to do? Practical strategies that, I'm sorry, you already knew, didn't you? It takes an hour and a half to get people to the place where they go, oh, it is all those things that I already knew. Dang, I thought he was going to have the secret. If I had the secret, would I be standing here? No way, I'd be a bazillionaire. There's no such thing. The secret is what you already know, and as an American, you want to avoid probably. You got to eat less and move more. So yeah, Freudian slip. I was trying to perpetuate my profession. You have to eat a little bit less, move a little bit more, eat more frequently. You remember that diet that was out there, eat more to lose weight? They were talking about the number of times per day, not the quantity of food. But everybody who said they're following that diet, oh, that's the problem. I wasn't eating enough. They never read the book. They read the title as they walked through Barnes & Noble on their way to Starbucks. Eat smaller meals more often. Now there is, I make fun of that, and it is possible to eat so little that the weight loss stops, but it didn't not start. I was out for a double negative. If they ate little enough, they lost weight for a while, but if they ate too little, then eventually that weight loss stops. And now they're at a plateau for a long period, and that's when we start saying, well, maybe you're not eating enough. There is something called the thermic effect of food, but that's a whole nother class. Always, 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 every time you're going to consume calories, have proteins, carbs, and fats. Every time calories are going to pass your lips, have proteins, carbs, and fats, because your brain senses satisfaction from all three things. Proteins, carbohydrates, and fats. Every time you eat several small meals all throughout the day, you'll stay satisfied. Always eat breakfast. Always eat breakfast. It is the single easiest thing you can do to keep your metabolism high and lose weight. Every weight loss study out there, especially looking at the long-term maintenance of that weight loss, every single successful participant eats a real breakfast, not a drink, not a shake, not a bar, an actual breakfast. And every single person who gains that weight back in the first year, somewhere in there, stopped eating breakfast. Now that doesn't make breakfast the key. What it makes it is something you really should pay attention to. Eating breakfast really starts the day off right. You remember that whole Schoolhouse Rock? All right, increase your fiber intake. The average American eats about 10 grams of fiber a day. Man, if we ate how much fiber we were supposed to eat, we would significantly reduce cholesterol problems, arterial disease problems, heart disease, cancer, colon cancer problems, all kinds of stuff. Plus, we'd be satisfied on less food. We'd eat less. Our obesity problem would almost be gone just from this if people just ate more veggies. Mom was right. She's pretty smart. She might not have had this reason in mind, but she was right. All right, try to eat whole foods as much as you can. Do you know what this term really means? Probably should say unprocessed. Try to eat foods as unprocessed as you can. Try to eat, and this is going to sound like a political soapbox, and it actually is good nutritional science, try to eat locally. This is a great area of the world to be able to do that in. We have a tremendous amount of food variety that's actually grown within 100 miles of the Portland area. You can eat really great whole foods that are truly, actually organic. I'm not sure how important that organic thing really is, but hey, if we can avoid messing with nature as much as we can, that's probably a good thing. If we can avoid putting in chemicals, that can't be bad. Eat as whole foods as you can, and try to eat actually an actual meal, not a big meal, but an actual meal within 2 hours of going to bed if you can arrange your day that way. It will keep you satisfied for longer. You'll wake up with more energy, especially those of you that are coming to camp at 5:30, 6:30 in the morning. You'll have more energy for that camp. You'll be satisfied for longer. A lot of people, oh, I don't eat anything after 5. But yeah, you don't go to bed till midnight, so you've been starving for 15 hours by the time you have breakfast. That's a great way to kill your metabolic rate. I mean, that 15% of your metabolism you can actually affect. That's a great way to destroy it. So, what do you need to do to succeed? First, you have to recognize that it's entirely within your control. Entirely within your control. I wish I could tell you that it was somebody else's fault, and therefore it's somebody else's burden. We all get to choose. We get to choose how much we move. I know there's a whole bunch of things that affect that, but you still get to make the choice. We get to choose how much food we eat. Nobody's shoveling it in your face. We get to do it. All right? So we're in control. You get to do it. This is what you do. All that stuff on that last page is really easy to implement. Keep a log. It doesn't have to be a fancy journal. You can go out and buy one. I created one that I sell. I give to my clients that I design nutrition programs for, but there's a million of them out there. Or you can just use the notepad you have in front of you. Write down the food that you're going to eat, how much of it you're going to have. Notice I said going to eat, not what you already had, but what you're about to eat. Write it down. I talked about these people that have maintained their weight loss. Eating breakfast, this was the second common denominator. And it actually turns out to be the strongest common denominator for behavioral change is keeping a journal. Stopping smoking, stopping drugs, stopping whatever other habit you can think of, replacing it with another habit. Journaling is the strongest common denominator for actually implementing that change. Maybe it's because it makes people conscious of what they're doing. I'm not sure. I don't really care. It works. Journal. Be as anal as you can be. Seriously. If you write it down before you eat it, you're 99, I'm not making this statistic up, you're 99% more likely to stick with your plan than if you write it down after you eat. And that's still writing it down. So you can imagine how far the statistics drop if you don't journal. Actually journal and you'll make a big change. It doesn't even take that much effort. Write it down before you eat. All right, and then also understanding that you've got to live by your resolutions. I actually had somebody call me on the phone while I was driving over here to ask me about boot camp and said, well, you know, I've been training with a trainer for 6 months and I really haven't seen any results. So if I join your boot camp and I don't get any results, and, you know, do I get a refund? I said, sure, as long as you move in with me and I control everything you do. Well, why? Because I can't control what you do when you're not around. In camp, there's absolutely no opportunity to be consuming calories. So I know for that 1 hour, you're on plan. That leaves 23 hours of the day to be an American. Man, that's scary for progress. So what do you think my answer was? No, actually I said, sure. Just when you come to me and you tell me you haven't reached your goals, we're gonna hire a polygrapher, you're gonna pay for it, and we're gonna see, I'm gonna put you on a lie detector. Did you actually follow what you were supposed to follow? We'll do it right. Well, I don't think that's necessary. She actually signed up already, but it's within our control. You have to follow your resolutions. You have to follow up on what you intend. Now the cool thing about that, because I keep putting it back on you, is you can. It's not hard. It never has been hard. I make my living off the fact that people think it's hard, and my whole job, and that's why the company is called Real Fitness, is to teach you that it's not.